Hello viewers, I want us to watch this video. I will be back.
The US dollar is both the biggest export and the strongest weapon the US has. See, the way they weaponize it is by lending it out, by forcing people to use it, and thereby creating the network effects where everyone needs to use the US dollar. And the key part is, this is something they just create out of nothing. They don't even have to print it. They just like type it up and then boom, like billions just appear. Okay? And how do they get the whole world to use it? Well, first, they package it in like a nice thing called US aid. So US aid comes to a country that's struggling, like, oh, we'll do a study for you and we're going to give you a loan. We're going to help raise you out of poverty and build roads and infrastructure and stuff. They get the study and then they give the study to the ruler of that country, whether it's the king or whatever. Of course, if it's a leader that doesn't want the help, they'll just overthrow him, like they've done with countless regimes in the world. Okay, but let's put that aside for now. So then that leader takes that US aid study, even the way they call it aid, and takes it to their parliament and gives it to the press. And oh yeah, look, America's going to give us all these billions of dollars to create a new highway and a new port and a new whatever. And then of course one of the terms is that you have to employ American firms and Western firms, and to build these things because they have the expertise. Of course, yeah, they have the experience and expertise. It's for your own benefit. And then you get the IMF loan, okay, or the World Bank loan. They're both the same, by the way. And of course, the idea of these loans is to never be repaid. The whole idea is that they're not working for it. It's not someone's capital, so no one wants it to be repaid. The idea is they give it to these countries, and of course, after a few years, they can't repay. By the way, not a single country in the history of the IMF has ever repaid back its loan. And eventually, even the ones that do, you're going to have to repay back the loan with interest. Of course, this is not a charity. IMF and the World Bank are not a charity, although they position themselves as such. And like the weird thing is that even the people who work there think that they're doing good for some reason. Like they're just smart enough to carry out this thing, to believe this shit, but dumb enough not to see the big picture of how they're actually fucking over the entire global south. So of course, once you're on the debt, you never repay it back and you have to refinance and refinance. And every round of refinancing, there's little conditions. Actually, you should privatize your telecommunications. You should privatize your ports. And, we just so happen to have great telecom companies and great port management companies, etc. And slowly. And then, you know what? I think you should remove subsidies on your fuel, because that's how you can repay back the loan better. And we're giving you economic advice. And then this is where the true evil begins. Oh, like all your agriculture, instead of planting crops that you need for subsistence, how about you plant some cocoa or stuff that's easier to export, and you'll make more money selling it on the international markets. Okay, so then a condition of these loans would be to subsidize these crops that are for export, not for subsistence. Okay, so effectively what happens after that is that you're in debt and you can't feed yourself, so you're dependent on them for money and dependent on them for food. And this is how the empire weaponizes its dollar, its biggest resource and most powerful weapon. This is all available in a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I encourage you to read it. It's fascinating. It gives you all the details and all that. It sucks, but this is why I keep talking about this issue here, because the money, it's the broken money.
Whatever the guy is saying is actually real facts. Whatever this guy is saying is actually real facts. And why am I saying that? Because I'm living in one. I'm living in a country that solely depends on US dollars, and anytime the US dollar decides to behave some way, our cedi become useless. In Ghana, we import more than what we export. We import food. We import, let me tell you some petty things that we import in Ghana that will shock you. We import onions. We import tomatoes. We import even cassava. We import huge amount of food that we consume, but we have a huge virgin lands that we can plant our own crops. But what do? our governance or government systems normally put more money on crops that will not benefit the country. We put more money in crops like cocoa. If you put more money or invest in cocoa, in case there is hunger, can your citizens consume cocoa? The crops that the citizens consumed has never gotten any attention. Farming itself has never gotten the attention. We were trained to see farming as punishment. So they have programmed us to think farming is punishment. People think going into farming means you have gone backward in life. That is the fact, and that is what we are facing here. The guy touched about how they will convince you or they will manipulate you to join this IMF. And after you have joined the IMF, they come and sit down with you and tell you, remove subsidies from your oil, remove subsidies from here because that is what you are going to use to pay your debt. And at the end of the day, if you start removing, it brings burden to your citizens. That is what we have been facing in Africa. A lot of things are happening that many are quiet because whatever you do, you don't have the power to make the changes. That is why they have brought all this political system, these democratic systems that they are able to influence. They normally sponsor all these crooks and fraudsters to become leaders so that they can partner with them or they can collaborate with to succeed. That is why Africans are suffering. We don't prioritize on the main important issues that are affecting our countries. Any leader who is willing to make Africa great can do it easily. But anytime anyone make an effort to do the right thing, he will be tagged as dictator. He will be tagged as someone that is not fit for that leadership. And they will make sure he's being branded as a dictator, and at the time you realize, you'll be removed. Few years ago, Ghana went to IMF, and the funny thing is, when the current government was in opposition, one of his campaign was, when he comes to power, he's going to remove Ghana from IMF. When they came, they did that by going out of IMF. It seems they did not work on their foundations. So, after they took that decision, things started going south. Problems started rising. The cedi started crumbling against the dollars. Many things were happening in Ghana economy, and the country decided again. The government, who has removed us from IMF program, didn't have any option than to take us back to IMF. We don't know what happens. Now, as we speak, Ghana is currently part of IMF program. And this is the 17th time Ghana has gone to IMF. But ask yourself, has it brought any good results? Ghana economy keep crumbling. And the funny thing is, When we were not in IMF, the commentary about Ghana economy was bad. So panic. You know, when you start getting bad reviews, investors start shaking. So Ghana started panicking. Ghana economy or investors in Ghana started panicking. And we didn't have any option than to join them. But after we joined them, things are worse. The economy has not been stable. The cedi against the dollar keep rising. But now, they are giving positive commentary about Ghana economy. Why is it so? They always want you to be under their wings so that they can control your economy. That is the fact. So they keep deceiving us of giving us loans, but they are using these loans to crumble most of this country's economy. Many African countries has become dollars dependent. Anytime US dollars starts shaking, then their economy starts shaking. Why is it so? We have not got leaders that has foresight to make changes to all these manipulation systems. Our economy are being manipulated, but at the end of the day, our leaders are in bed with these Western countries. So them going there for photo shoots, them going there for vacations are their main priorities. Their main priorities is not about developing their country. Their main priorities are going out there to take photo shoots with Joe Biden. Recently, Kenya president went to White House, and I think one of his biggest achievements or one of his dreams was to sit in American's presidential seat to take a picture. And he got the opportunity. Joe Biden gave him the seat to take a picture, to do a beautiful photo shoot, and it was all over social media. And I think his childhood dreams were accomplished. That are the type of leaders that we vote for them to come and control our economy. Whatever this guy is saying is the facts. I repeat, whatever the guy is saying is the facts. Please go to my description box and click on the Telegram link. It will take you to my Telegram platform. Join us as we discuss about the well-being of Africa and Africans in diaspora. If today is also your first time coming to this channel, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload any great content, you will be notified. I'm always your guy, DGraft Amoakon. Thanks for watching.